The first thing Adrian Vale noticed was not the shattered coffee cup on the kitchen floor. It was the silence. In a diner usually filled with clattering plates and hurried voices, every employee had gone still while a young waitress stood over the sink, trembling so hard that water splashed across her hands. Tears cut through the makeup beneath her eyes, revealing bruises she had tried to hide. And when the kitchen door opened, she flinched as though even kindness might strike her. Adrian, a billionaire CEO known for never showing emotion in public, studied the terrified staff and whispered, "Who hurt her?" If you believe kindness can reach someone at the exact moment they are about to lose hope, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Loyal Hearts. And tell us where you are watching from, because someone else may need to know compassion still exists. The waitress's name was Ilara Quinn. At 26, she had learned how to smile while her life collapsed behind her. Every morning she arrived before sunrise at Hartwell Diner, tied on her red apron, and served strangers with a warmth she no longer felt for herself. She worked double shifts to pay rent and cover rehabilitation expenses for her mother, who had suffered a stroke 8 months earlier. Ilara skipped meals when money ran short and told her mother everything was fine, even while final notices piled beneath her bed. The bruises came from Nolan Pike, the diner's general manager who treated fear as part of the uniform. He cut Ilara's hours whenever she rejected his unwanted attention and threatened to fire her. That morning, when she confronted him about missing wages, he dragged her into the storage room, grabbed her face, and warned that no one would believe a broke waitress over a respected manager. She escaped when a cook entered, but Nolan ordered everyone to remain silent. Adrian had entered by accident after his car overheated on the way to a meeting about closing underperforming businesses, including Hartwell Diner. Yet the sight of Ilara dragged him back 30 years. His mother had once worked in a roadside cafe, hiding bruises beneath powder while raising him alone. He remembered powerful men looking away because helping her was inconvenient. Adrian had built an empire, promising never to be helpless again, but he had begun studying numbers so closely that he stopped seeing the people behind them. Ilara wiped her face and insisted she had slipped. Adrian did not challenge her. He removed his jacket, placed it over her shoulders, and asked the employees to lock the kitchen door. Then he introduced himself as the majority owner of the company, controlling the diner. The color drained from Nolan's face when he stormed inside. Adrian turned toward him with a stillness more frightening than anger and requested the security footage, payroll records, and complaint files. Nolan claimed the cameras had been broken for months, but a dishwasher named Tessa stepped forward. With shaking hands, she revealed that she had secretly recorded Nolan after he threatened another waitress. One by one, the staff began speaking. A cook described stolen overtime. A cashier admitted Nolan had forced her to work while sick. Another server revealed that complaints sent to corporate had been erased by a regional supervisor who protected him. Ilara listened as the truth she had carried alone became a chorus. For the first time, Nolan looked smaller than the people he had controlled. He tried to leave, but Adrian had already called the police and an independent attorney. When officers entered through the front door, customers watched Nolan being led away. Ilara expected Adrian to disappear once the scandal was contained. Men like him, she believed, fixed problems only when cameras were watching. But the next morning he returned without reporters and apologized to every employee. He admitted that his company's obsession with profit had created a system where managers were rewarded for silence and workers were treated as replaceable. He suspended the regional leadership, ordered repayment of stolen wages, arranged confidential counseling, and created protections for employees reporting abuse. Then he offered Ilara paid leave and medical support for her mother. She refused at first. Pride was the last thing hardship had not taken from her. Adrian understood, so instead of offering charity, he offered work. During the investigation, he discovered Ilara had completed 2 years of business school before leaving to care for her mother. He asked her to join an employee advisory board rebuilding the restaurant division. Ilara stared at him, certain he had mistaken her for someone more important. Adrian told her titles did not reveal character. Choices did. She had protected co-workers while afraid, and that was leadership his executives had failed to show. The following months were not easy. Ilara still woke from nightmares and panicked in quiet rooms. Some days she cried outside her mother's rehabilitation center. But she was no longer alone. Tessa attended hearings, co-workers checked on her, and Adrian never pressured her to appear grateful or brave. He simply kept every promise. A year later, Hartwell Diner reopened after a complete transformation. The kitchen was brighter, wages were higher, and a sign near the employee entrance displayed a confidential support number. Ilara, now director of employee welfare for the restaurant group, stood beside her mother at the opening ceremony. Her mother walked slowly with a cane but carried herself proudly. When she saw Adrian, she took his hand and thanked him for saving her daughter. Adrian shook his head and said Ilara had saved herself. He had only chosen not to look away. That evening, Ilara returned to the same sink where Adrian had first found her crying. For a moment, she saw the frightened woman she had been reflected in the steel. Then she looked around at employees laughing freely, at her mother waiting in a booth, and at the man who had turned a business decision into a human promise. Her scars had not disappeared, but they no longer told a story of defeat. They were proof that someone had tried to break her and failed. If Ilara's journey touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Loyal Hearts. Your support helps stories of courage and compassion reach people who may be suffering in silence. Special request: comment "I will not look away" if you believe protecting someone in pain is more important than protecting your comfort. Adrian had spent his life believing power meant never needing anyone. Ilara taught him that true power was noticing the person everyone else had ignored. And Ilara, who once believed her tears made her weak, finally understood that surviving was not the end of her story. Being seen, being believed, and using her voice to protect others was where her new life began.